Today, with an old, very famous objection that you would get from your clients a lot, we're going to talk about the let me think about it objection. You must have had it so many times in your galleries, after your presentations of your listings, all the time. Salespeople all around the world, from Asia to Europe, from Europe to the US, from US all around the world, people always hear about let me think about it after their presentation. So we're going to go through a few ways in how you can overcome it. What you can say to your clients when they raise the let me think about it objection, and on top of that, what does it really mean when your clients say let me think about it. So shall we get started? Oh, and I really don't want you to think again. Don't tell me you want to think about subscribing to this channel because No, I'm just joking. Just subscribe to my channel because we have a video every single week, and hit the notification button, ping, and that will help you to see our video every single week when we launch a new one. So what do you say we get started? You want to think about it a little bit more? No? Okay, shall we get started? Yes? You done thinking? Okay, let's get started in 3, in 2, and 1, and go! When I do training, a lot of training with real estate professionals all over the world, they always come back to me with this one and very famous objection, right? This one objection is that we all sales professionals, and especially in real estate, we face a lot, right? When we do viewings, when we have appointments, when we are at the project gallery, at the end of a beautiful presentation, and you gave your heart, you gave your soul, you gave your everything, and then eventually you ask your client, so what do you think? And then your client comes to you and says very seriously, you know what, thank you so much for this great presentation, or thank you so much for this great viewing. You know what, I just need some time, just let me think about it. Have you ever gotten that objection? Well, if you've never gotten that objection, then you have not done any real estate before, because it's a widely used objection, and sometimes we mistakenly think that it's the truth, that people say, well, I have to think about it, but do they really need to think about it? So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to overcome that objection. Where does the objection come from? How can we help our clients to get past the objection, and hopefully we can close the deal either on the spot, or at least can decrease the time of how fast we can actually close this deal. So are you ready? Okay, let's get started. So first, you can see this little cube here, right? I'm going to talk a little bit about, okay, if they say, let me think about it, what are they actually really saying, right? Are they really saying, I have to think about it? Or is it another issue that is really going on in their mind? And too many real estate agents just give up on the spot when they hear actually the words, let me think about it. Usually agents will give answers, oh, okay, fine, of course you want to think about it, I will follow up with you on another day, or I will follow up with you in a couple of days, or of course you want to think about it, and then what actually happens is you try to reach out to your clients the next day, or the next 2 days, or even the next week, and you cannot contact them anymore, you cannot speak to them anymore, you haven't heard from them anymore, and that eventually does a lot of pain to your business, correct? So let's talk first a little bit of what is the real issue here, right? Every time that you hear your client say, let me think about it, there can be 4 reasons that they actually give you this objection, or actually why they use this objection can have a deeper meaning, and we're going to talk a little bit about that deeper meaning. The first deeper meaning can be that it has to do with the price, right? The price, or / can also be the risk. Right? Somehow your clients don't really like the price, or they don't like the risk that they have to take for this specific property or for this specific development, right? So this could be an issue, but they will not tell you in your face. They won't say, hey, this price is not very good. I mean, some clients will say it, but most of your clients will say, in the back of their mind, they say, oh, I don't really like the price, but how do I tell off to the agent very friendly that, you know, without insulting him and telling him he wasted his time with me during this presentation. So what do I use? I use the old-fashioned, you know what? Just let me think about it. And then you never hear from me back again. So that could be one of the issues, right? The second issue that could be that there is some issue or some concern about the quality of the product, right? Or of the project. I just write down product. So this can be a listing, can be a project, right? They have seen something about the project or about the listing that they are not happy with. And they rather not tell it to you, they rather not, give their opinion about it. And just to make things easy for themselves, they just end with, okay, just let me think about it, right? Another reason, and this is also a big reason that I want you to write down, it could have to do with a trust issue, or there is a lack of relationship with you. Right? Relational issue. So what many times happen is that this specific person is just simply not comfortable in doing business with you yet. Maybe they don't really believe in what you're saying. Maybe they don't really trust your judgment on the price. Maybe there's something during the presentation that they didn't really like. Maybe you went too much into pitching and selling what they felt pushed away. Maybe you were too aggressive in your presentation. Whatever it is, there is a trust or relational issue where they don't want to address, and they will end the presentation with, okay, you know what, just let me think about it first. And the final thing, what is a biggie, number 4, that I see very often, right, is just simply fear, right? Fear of decision making. A lot of people out there simply are afraid of making decisions on the spot. Right? They feel that if they make a decision right now, they might regret it later, or even worse, they never want to make any decisions because they are just not very comfortable in making decisions in the first place. They would rather like other people to make decisions for themselves, right? Especially when it comes to a huge investment as real estate, right? And again, at the end of the presentation, rather than making that decision, what will they tell the agent? They will say, you know what, just let me think about it. So now we have gone through actually the 4 categories, and there are ways for you as an agent to overcome it, or even better said, that you can go deeper in first understanding what does let me think about it actually mean. In which of the 4 categories does let me think about it actually fall? Does it have to do with a price or a risk concern? Does it have to do with the quality of service concern? Does it have to do with a trust or relational concern? Or does it have to do with the fear of decision making? So eventually that is where you want to go through first. Never ever let your clients go with just saying, let me just think about it. You want to go deeper into specifically what is it that they need to think about, right? Because if somebody tells me, let me think about it, I don't get much information, but too many agents out there say, okay, you just think about it, and you lose the deal on the spot. So let's make one promise here between PropCoach and you as a professional agent. Never ever let your clients just say, let me think about it, and let them walk outside of the room. You still have a few things to clarify with your clients after your great presentation, after your great viewing, and understanding what does let me think about it really, really mean. And let me give you a few steps in what you can do. So imagine this. Your client, after a presentation, says, okay, let me think about it. The first thing that you, of course, can do is, of course, you want to be in agreement with your clients. It's not that you're going to let your clients walk away, but you want to be in agreement with your client because you want to be on the same team as your clients, right? Don't say things like, let me think about it. Why would you need to think about it, right? That is too aggressive, right? That is not really friendly, would you say? No, you want to be on the team. So if your client says something like, hey, I think I would like to think about it. And then you say simply like you said, well, of course you would need to think about it. Real estate is a huge investment. I would not expect anything less that you give it a good thought before you make a decision. Right? That helps you to basically build that relationship, create that rapport, be in agreement with your clients, and that basically gives a signal to your client that you're on the same team. But again, you will continue by saying, okay, well, of course you would like to think about it. I wouldn't expect anything less than you would have a good thought about this property. But Mr. X, just to clarify, I would really like to know, since you want to think about it, and I see that you really like this property, what particular thing is it that you would like to think about? Because usually when clients tell me they want to think about it, either they have a slight concern about something of the property, or they're actually not really interested. Which one is it for you? Because those two options really make your clients think about the fact, okay, Am I actually on the interesting side and I need to clarify a few more points? Or am I just not interested and I just have to be honest with this agent and tell him, no, I do not want to buy this. I'm not interested in this project. And then you still can overcome that objection, right? You can still clarify that, but at least you give them the option, okay, what is it, right? Now, if your clients are open and you do that in a very friendly way, and you go on that objection like that, your clients would say, yeah, you know, I think that the property is quite pricey. It seems to be quite expensive. Wow, okay, well, now you have the real objection that you can handle. And that objection, you can say like, hey, I completely understand. Of course, real estate is quite an expensive product. We completely understand. You know what? The first time that I saw this project, you know, at the end, I also thought it was a little bit expensive. Actually, some of my clients that have bought this property also thought it was a little bit expensive. But let me explain to you how the developer or how the seller has come to this price. And then you can explain the value of the property and see if you can get into an agreement with this client. Maybe they will now say to you, okay, listen, you know, I don't know, I have heard a story about this developer. It seems that the quality of his finishings is not very good. I heard some stories about it. Oh, okay, I completely understand. Again, you are in agreement with your client, so you want to always be in agreement with them, and then you handle that objection, and whatever they say to you, you just want to be in agreement with them. Now, let me give you a final tip, right? Even though they want to think about it, of course, they want to think about it. I want to give you two very simple tips more. Sometimes people might say the following. They say, oh, let me think about it. I need to discuss it with my wife. Or I need to discuss it with my mom. Or I need to discuss it with my sister. Right? Or I need to discuss it with the Lord. Whoever they need to discuss it with, they need to discuss it with somebody. Now, we cannot bring down the Lord, so let's just focus on these other people. How do you overcome that? They said, let me think about it. I need to discuss it with, let's take this as an example with my mom. Again, you are in full agreement. Oh, wonderful. What a great news that you would like to include your mom. Of course you want to include your mom, right? Especially in such a big decision as real estate. Now, would you be okay, sir, if I quickly ask you a question? And your client would say, yeah, of course. Okay, are you okay if I give you a little recommendation here? Well, yeah, of course. That's your question number one. Can I give you a recommendation? Because you want them to focus on what you're going to say next. And they say, yeah, of course. Okay, usually what I do, if you want to include your mom or your wife or whoever in your decision making, what I usually do, I already set up the next meeting, what we can do tonight, tomorrow morning, together with your mom. You bring her here also, and I would be happy to do the whole presentation again, including her, so that we don't leave out any details, we don't leave out anything that I haven't explained to you also, and then we can see together with you and together with your mom if this might be the right decision for you. Does that sound as a good idea? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, because if they're really interested, if that's really their objection, they will tell you, hey, that's a great idea. Yeah, let me bring my mom. But if they say, no, I will discuss with her first, right? Well, sir, can I just ask you, since your mom is so important, wouldn't it be fair if we just also show it to her, since she is one of the big decision makers? And I have a lot of free time tomorrow, so why don't you just bring her along? Or, sir, if you just are not interested in the property, right, and it has nothing to do with your mother or with anybody else, you can all freely just tell me so, and I will not waste any time for this property for you. Let's go find another property for you. You see, then you give people options, and then they get more comfortable in either saying no, or I'm not interested, or, you know, this is not what I'm looking for. Okay, and then you can move past the let me think about it. Does that make sense for you? Okay, so that is how you handle when they ask for their wife, their mom, etc., etc. Then I have one more advice for you. That is, okay, can you still get people to agree, or can you get people to confirm if they're really interested? And this has usually to do with the last one, if they have the fear of making a decision. Because these people, they want it, but they just don't want to make the decision now. Why? Because they have a fear of the decision. They simply have, maybe they have a little trauma of making a wrong decision in the past. Maybe their parents have taught them, hey, don't make over-rushed decisions, right? Also can happen, many things. So you have to deal with that process. Okay, so how do you deal with that process? Let me give you a little tip here. Let's say somebody says, let me think about it. Of course, first you're in agreement, right? Of course you want to think about it. Right? It's important that you give it some good thought before you buy a property like this. But can we both agree that you really like the property so far? Yeah, I do like the property, but just need some time to think. Okay, great. Well, would you be okay if I ask you a question? Yes, you see, that's how you start, to ask a question. Okay, let me ask you first thing, right? The first thing that you ask is, okay, do you like it? Right? Do you like it? The property. Do you like it? And the seller says, yes, I actually do like it. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, I completely understand. Well, at least you like it. But still, of course, you need to give it some good thought, right? You need to give it some good thought. Wonderful. Just another question. Can you afford it? Or, simply said, are you comfortable with this price range? You can also say it like that. Or is this something within the comfortability of your budget? And they say, yes, this is also good, yeah. And then you go to the first and the magical question. And then you just say, very simple, shall we do it? Shall we do it now? You just say it like that. Well, since you like it and you can afford it, shall we just do it now? Right? And that will give your clients a little bit of an understanding. Well, yeah, it's correct. I like it. I can afford it, or I'm comfortable in affording it, or I want to try it, right? And then you just say, oh, well, why don't we do it right now? Or shall we do it right now? Or why not go ahead right now? And then usually they either go back to, yeah, but I need some time to think, right? Maybe I need to talk to my wife, or maybe they say, yeah, I need to do some more research. Oh, since you want to do some more research, since we are here, why don't you ask me some more questions? I do have some more time. I would love to clarify anything that you need to know a little bit more about this product, or about this project, or about this listing, since we are here. What else would you like to know? What else can I show you? What other questions would you have, right? And again, if they still have the fear of the decision, you say, okay, no, completely fine. I fully agree that you would like to think about it, but since you like it, and since it's within your budget, my question is very simple. Why not do it right now? Right? Why not do it right now? Why would we delay, right? I want you to have this opportunity, and since you also like this opportunity, why not do it now? And again, sometimes they will say, oh yeah, you're right, yeah, maybe I should just do it now. And then you help them overcome the fear of the decision making. Or the other thing that can happen is that they will move to one of these other categories that they either don't like the price, either they want to negotiate. Many times people told me, yeah, I'm not really like the price. Well, in sub-sales, I would say, well, why don't you just give an offer first, and then we can see what we can do about the price. At least you bring them to the next stage of the sales process and move them forward and helping them making that decision in going to that next step. So I really hope that it helped you a lot today about the so famous let me think about it objection. I gave you the 4 deeper meanings of let me think about it and eventually some tips in how you can overcome it. And I really hope that it would help you. I would say try it the next time when somebody tells you let me think about it, and just let me know either in the comment box or send me an email or send me a message. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram, and I would be happy to hear what your results are of taking these steps in your business. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again next time here at PropCoach. For now, have a great day. See you next time. Bye.